The biggest crypto bull run in history is quietly building momentum, and this upcoming alt season is shaping up to be absolutely epic. If you thought the 202-20202-1 cycle was massive, get ready. This one is set to be even bigger. With growing institutional adoption and governments starting to embrace digital assets and crypto in a big way, the stage is being set for something extraordinary. I really believe we're about to see retail interest in crypto make a huge comeback, which could send prices soaring even higher than they are now. Recently, I shared a few reasons why I think this alt season and bull run are going to hit hard very soon. I'll dive into that again in just a bit because there are already several signs lining up perfectly to make this happen. Let me touch on that, but first, take a look at the daily view of this market. Seriously, isn't it amazing? The market is looking like a sea of green right now. Here's the breakdown. The hourly is green, the daily is green, the weekly is green, and even the monthly is green. And yes, the yearly, still green too. All right, so here's the scoop. Sure, there's a little bit of red in the mix, but overall green is stealing the show on both the daily and weekly charts. H-bar is up about 3.1%, and ontology on T is climbing with a 3.6% increase. We've also got a few others making moves like Uni, Link, and some more familiar names. XRP isn't skyrocketing today, but it's been pumping hard recently, which is always exciting to see. All in all, it's shaping up to be a pretty solid day for crypto. Well, let's talk about Bitcoin, which is up about 1.2% and currently sitting just shy of 109K. Not bad. But what's really catching my eye is the 7-day performance. Bitcoin is up 7.4%, which is pretty solid. Even better, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin with a 12% gain. And that's exactly what we like to see. XRP isn't far behind either, up about 9% over the week. Overall, it's been a great week for crypto with strong 7-day gains across the board. Sure, we're bouncing back from recent lows, but it's still shaping up to be a solid week for altcoins. The total crypto market cap is sitting at 3.3 trillion with the fear and greed index around 50. As for alt season, the altcoin season index is currently at 20 out of 100. So it seems like we've still got some time before we fully shift gears there. Right now, we're still firmly in Bitcoin season. Sure, some altcoins are starting to gain a little momentum, but Bitcoin dominance is holding strong at around 65%. Looking at Bitcoin's performance, it's looking pretty bullish. On both the 1-month and weekly charts, it's showing some solid strength. I'll dive into the weekly chart and show you exactly why Bitcoin is standing out right now. Here's how things are shaping up over the past year. We're getting really close to seeing a much bigger move on these charts. When it comes to XRP, here's what it looks like right now on the 1-month and 7-day views. And looking at the 1-year chart, we're still in a consolidation phase, which honestly isn't bad at all. The longer we consolidate and the more the charts stay boring, the bigger the moves tend to be when they happen. I've mentioned this to you guys several times, even as far back as like 2020 and 2021, that the longer we move sideways and consolidate, the more people start to lose interest, retail investors especially. It's what we call time capitulation. But here's the thing, the longer we consolidate, the bigger the move up usually is. A great example of this was back in 2022, leading up to November. Remember when XRP suddenly skyrocketed, everyone was asking, why is this happening? There wasn't even a major announcement. And yet, out of nowhere, a massive rally. That's what happens when a market stays in consolidation for what feels like forever. But let's talk about XRP and consolidation for a second. The wild part is we still haven't hit a new all-time high yet. Crazy, right? If you look at this candle here from December 2024 and then go all the way back to December 2017, the official all-time high was $3.84. And guess what? We haven't crossed that line since. Think about it. 2017 to now. All right. Can you believe it? By the end of this year, December to be exact, it'll have been 8 years. 8 years of consolidation, which is just wild. That alone tells me there's still so much potential for XRP to climb, especially when you look at all the factors lining up as we head into alt season this year. I really believe this could be a huge year for some major gains. Now, speaking of altcoins and XRP in particular, let's take a quick glance at the past 7 days for the top 500. Here's how the top 500 is shaping up. We're starting to see some solid movement across the board. Even looking at the top 100 over the last week, we're seeing gains of 65%, 47%, 30%, and close to 6%. Not bad, right? Sure, we're bouncing off the lows, but these short-term gains are definitely encouraging. Of course, there's still a long way to go before we see a full-blown alt season really take off, but this is a great start. Oh, and let's not forget, the FOMC meeting is just around the corner. Mark your calendars for July 29th, 30. Many people are wondering whether we'll see a rate cut in July or if it'll happen in September. There's been a lot of buzz lately about Trump and Jerome Powell, with Trump openly criticizing Powell for quite some time now. Here's an example. President Trump has called for Fed Chair Jerome Powell to resign, saying, "I'd love for him to resign. He's done a lousy job." Check out this clip and see for yourself.
Whether or not Powell should step down, I know you've been pretty critical.
I don't have a comment. I'd love him to resign if he wanted to. He's done a lousy job. Look, if you were there, you'd say, well, you know, the United States is doing well. They have no inflation. And if they do get inflation in a year or two, we'll start raising the rates. We'll get rid of the inflation, you know, and do other things. Biden had the worst inflation in the history of our country. 19%, but I think it was much higher than that. Frankly, they say 19%. I say I think it's a lot higher than that. And we have almost no inflation now. We've done a great job in a short period of time. Energy prices are way down. Gasoline now is down to close to $2 in a lot of places. A couple of places I see it even broke. It's like $1.98 a gallon. We've done a great job on inflation and honestly, pretty much everything else. I think it's very sad the way people act. You know, you have a guy in there that with the stroke of a pen could lower interest rates and save us hundreds of billions of dollars a year. But he's a stupid person. You know.
So here's the big question. What's the Fed going to do next? Honestly, the Fed isn't too concerned about what Trump has to say. Jerome Powell isn't exactly the type to be pushed around into cutting rates just because there's pressure. But with all this buzz around the Fed, what can we expect on July 30th? That's the date of the FOMC meeting, where we'll finally find out if rate cuts are happening or not. If we do see rate cuts by the end of July, things could get pretty wild. And honestly, I think July is going to be an exciting month for crypto, no matter what happens. I've been saying this for weeks now, and it looks like it's finally happening. I predicted that July would be the month when altcoins really start to shine, and here we are. Why? Because I'm expecting Bitcoin to hit a new all-time high very soon, especially after today's strong weekly candle close. I wanted to circle back to this because I've been keeping track of the reasons why I believe we're heading much higher. I even talked about this on the 25th. Some of these things are already playing out. Number 1 and 2 are happening right now. As for number 3, well, that one's a bit broader, but we're definitely seeing things move in the right direction. It's already happening. We're seeing number 4 and number 5 in action right now. And as for number 6, retail interest is at an all-time low, but I have a feeling it's going to make a big comeback soon. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. On another note, Bitcoin and stocks are so close to hitting new all-time highs. Stocks have already crushed it, and Bitcoin is right there. It's crazy to think how close it is. Then there's crypto regulations with that August 1st deadline coming up fast. Definitely something to watch. Meanwhile, stablecoin and tokenization growth are skyrocketing, and we might even see altcoin ETFs later this year. With all the updates around Ripple and the SEC case, I really think XRP ETFs are going to get approved very soon. I'll dive deeper into that in another video because I think it's definitely worth shining a spotlight on. Overall, though, this market is looking amazing right now. And you know what's funny about alt season? Nobody believes it'll actually happen anymore. I even joked on X that alt season has basically become a myth at this point. But here's the thing. This exact same mindset happened in 2017 and again in 2022, right before alt season kicked off. People tend to give up on it just before it actually starts. I'm expecting alt season to kick off pretty soon, probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm saying 2 to 3 weeks just to play it safe, but honestly, it could happen even sooner with how much momentum this market is starting to build. When I say this market, I'm talking specifically about the altcoin market. Outside of Bitcoin, there's a lot of excitement shifting towards Ethereum and other altcoins. I've been saying July could be the start of the next big wave up. The dollar is looking really weak right now, losing momentum week after week. We did see a little dead cat bounce recently, but overall the trend is clear. We're continuing to move lower now, and we've actually lost a major support level that goes all the way back to March 2022. The dollar just keeps losing momentum here, and as I mentioned before, a weak dollar is super bullish. for risk on assets. That's exactly why we're seeing Bitcoin start to take off right now. Just take a look at this weekly view of Bitcoin. It's amazing. The previous breakout was already pretty exciting, and now we've closed a weekly candle above the trend line. Looking ahead, I really believe the next target for Bitcoin could be $120. Okay. Now, that recent move on Bitcoin might not seem like a big deal at first. It's only about a 10.7% jump. But here's the exciting part. If Bitcoin pushes up by 10.7% while its dominance drops, we could see altcoins breaking out in a major way. And let me tell you, that weekly close on Bitcoin looked extremely bullish. This is the moment to really start paying attention. Things are about to get volatile, and we're entering phase 2 of the cycle. This is where Ethereum starts to take the spotlight, which is why I've been keeping a close eye on how Ethereum is performing against Bitcoin, even on higher timeframes like the 7-day chart. Spoiler alert, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin on the 7-day, and we absolutely love to see it. Oh, and don't forget about XRP. It's looking strong too. XRP has been in a consolidation phase for a while now. It's been holding steady ever since that big drop back in March. Since then, it's been moving within a range from around $1.92 up to roughly $2.50. Sure, there have been a few wicks above and below, but those are just liquidity wicks. Overall, it's been a lot of sideways action. We might see this consolidation continue a bit longer, maybe another wick up to $2.50 or a retest of the lower trend line. But the exciting part, that's still ahead. Once alt season really kicks in and Bitcoin dominance drops below 60%, maybe down to 55% or so, that's when things get wild. When that happens, XRP will likely enter price discovery mode, climbing to levels we haven't seen since its 2017 rally. It's going to be an exciting time for the market, and especially for XRP holders. This is exactly why I believe this incredible bull run is starting to heat up again. We might be on the verge of the final big wave of this cycle, a chance to see some exciting gains in the coming months. I know it's been a tough ride lately and things haven't been easy. Between the trade war, talks of World War III, and all the market uncertainty, there's been a lot to process. The market has been super volatile, and when traditional markets like stocks get spooked, crypto tends to follow in an even more unpredictable way. But here's the thing, for everyone who's stuck it out through the ups and downs, I truly believe it's going to be worth it. The patience, the perseverance, it's all leading to something exciting. Seeing Bitcoin move like this is incredible, and I can't wait to see what's next. Hang in there. It's going to be an exciting ride.